Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sahil Sawant and I have completed my BTech from VIT Pune and currently I am pursuing my MTech from VJTI Mumbai. Along with my engineering work, I have also gained some research experience in radio astronomy at IUCA, which is in Pune. And in this video series, we are exploring about radio astronomy, the science of studying the universe using the radio waves. Radio waves allow us to observe objects that cannot be seen with ordinary optical telescopes, such as pulsars, hydrogen clouds, and energetic plasmas near the black holes. This course is designed in such a way that we will gradually be building understanding from the basics, that is, the concepts of electromagnetic waves, to the modern radio telescopes like GMRT, which is in India. In today's video, we will also discuss a very important foundation for all astronomy and communication systems, which is the fundamental properties of an electromagnetic wave. Now, before we begin or move ahead, let us quickly connect the topic with our larger course. In the previous video, we explored the electromagnetic spectrum and understood that the radio waves are part of a larger family of electromagnetic radiations that include gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet light, visible light, infrared radiations, microwaves, and radio waves. All of these are fundamentally the physical phenomena, that is, the electromagnetic waves, but they differ in their wavelengths and frequencies. To understand how radio telescopes detect the signal from distant stars or galaxies, we must understand how electromagnetic waves behave. Every electromagnetic wave can be described using four-dimensional characteristics: amplitude, frequency or wavelength, phase, and polarization. These four properties allow scientists and engineers to completely describe a wave signal. In radio astronomy, these properties are extremely important because they tell us how the energy is emitted, how it travels through the space, and how our instruments are going to detect it. Before discussing about electromagnetic waves directly, let us use an everyday example to visualize waves in more easier manner. Imagine dropping a stone into a calm lake. The moment the stone hits the water surface, circular ripples start spreading around outwards. These ripples are the water waves. If you observe them carefully, we will notice that the surface water moves up and down while the wave is traveling outwards. Waves are essentially a way in which energy travels through a space or in a medium. Although electromagnetic waves do not require a medium like water or air, their mathematical description is very similar to those types of waves. The ripple example helps us also form oscillations, where electric and magnetic fields vary in repeating pattern. Now let us explore the first property of an electromagnetic wave, which is the amplitude. The first property of any wave is the amplitude. Amplitude represents the maximum height of the wave from its central position. If we return to water example, amplitude of the wave corresponds to how high the water is going to rise above the calm surface. In electromagnetic waves, amplitudes represent the strength of electric or the magnetic fields. Now, why is the amplitude so important? Because amplitude determines the intensity or the power of the signal. In astronomy, this means that stronger signal correspond to more energetic sources. Like for example, a bright radio source in space produces waves which are higher in amplitudes. A weak signal from distant galaxy produces waves with lower amplitudes. Radio telescopes must be extremely sensitive because these signals they detect from very tiny amplitudes that are traveling millions of light years. Now moving on to the next property, which is the frequency, which is also closely related to the wavelength by the equation we saw in the earlier lecture. Frequency describes how many wave cycles occur every second, and it is measured in a term or unit known as hertz, where 1 hertz means 1 cycle of the wave in 1 second. Wavelength on other hand represents the distance between two consecutive peaks of a wave. These quantities are connected through one of the most famous equations in physics, which is c equals to h mu, where c represents the speed of light, lambda is the wavelength, and mu is the frequency. The speed of light in vacuum is approximately 300 million meters per second or 30 lakhs kilometer per second. This equation tells us that frequency and wavelength are inversely related to each other. If the frequency increases, the wavelength is going to decrease. This is why gamma rays have extremely short wavelength, while radio waves have wavelengths of several meters. In radio astronomy, we often study signals with wavelength ranging from few millimeters to several meters. Different wavelengths reveal different physical properties or processes happening around in the space. Now moving on to the third property of wave, which is the phase. Phase describes the relative position of the wave at a particular moment in time. Imagine two waves traveling together. If their peaks and troughs align perfectly, they are said to be in phase. If one wave is shifted relative to the other, they are out of phase. Phase is extremely important in radio astronomy because many telescopes use technique called interferometry. In interferometry, signals from multiple antennas are combined. And to combine these signals correctly, scientists must carefully measure and align their phases. Even a very tiny differences in the phases can affect the final image that is being produced by the radio telescope array. Now, the fourth property of electromagnetic waves is the polarization. Polarization describes the direction in which the electric field oscillates. Electromagnetic waves consist of two oscillating components. The first is the electric field and the next is the magnetic field. These fields oscillate perpendicular to each other and to the direction of the propagation of light. Depending on how the electric field moves, waves can have different polarizations. Linear polarization, circular polarization, and elliptical polarization. Polarization is very useful in astronomy because it can tell us about magnetic fields in the space. Like for example, radio emissions from pulsars and galaxies often show how specific polarization patterns. By studying polarization, astronomers can learn about magnetic environments near the stars or black holes or in the interstellar gaseous mediums. Now, let us connect these wave properties to that of an antenna, which are the devices used to transmit and receive the radio signals. When an antenna transmits a signal, electrons inside this metal conductor oscillate very rapidly. These oscillations generate electromagnetic waves that travel outward towards the space. The characteristic of the transmitted wave depends on frequency of the oscillation, the amplitude of the signal, and the phase relationship between the antenna and the polarization produced by the antenna structure. Radio telescopes essentially act as very sensitive receiving antennas that capture faint electromagnetic waves arriving from distant cosmic sources. Understanding amplitude, frequency, phase, and polarization allows the scientists to extract very valuable information about these astronomical objects. In this video, we explored four fundamental properties of electromagnetic waves: the amplitude, which determines the signal strength; the frequency and wavelength, which describes how rapidly the wave is oscillating; and the phase, which defines the alignment of the wave cycles; and last but not the least, which is the polarization. It describes the direction of electric field's oscillation. These four properties form the foundation of radio astronomy and radio communication systems. In the next video, we will move on forward and explore celestial radio sources, including pulsars, hydrogen clouds, and electromagnetic plasma, and also the black holes. If you enjoyed this lecture and want to learn more about radio astronomy, signals, and the engineering behind the modern telescopes, make subscribe to the channel and follow this complete series. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lecture. Until then, have a great day.